Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Holo and Holochain AMA. This is AMA number 29. I am Matthew Schutte, our applied philosopher. I'm going to be joined today by David Atkinson, our commercial director, and Mary Camacho, our executive director. I'm going to start off with some thank yous. Once again, we'd like to thank our collaborators, contributors, supporters, community builders, partners, and app and platform creators who all share the vision of a more distributed internet. Special thanks to those who are writing, reviewing, and or creating developer and community resources to increase engagement and awareness. We encourage you to visit holo.host and to follow us on Twitter to learn more about what we do. And check out developer.holochain.org, where the resources are available to help you build your first Holochain app. Some quick announcements before we dive into the AMA. We have some exciting meetups scheduled in August. First off, we've got an Ethereum and Holochain comparison and current thought leadership on securities meetup in Brisbane, Australia. That's going to be on August 5th. Second, we've got Holochain versus Ethereum and the latest on blockchain and securities meetup in Sydney, Australia on August 7th. So we've got two of those, one in Brisbane, one in Sydney. Third, we have a Holochain dinner in Dusseldorf, Germany on August 8th. And fourth, we've got a Holochain hackathon scheduled in Portland, Oregon from August 22nd to 23rd. That's going to be coinciding with the Rust conference that's happening in Portland. Last but not least, we are busy finalizing our two new channels, the new Holochain blog and our new Holochain forum. More details will be announced soon, so stay tuned for more about these exciting releases. And do we have anything else we want to say in terms of key messages before we dive straight into the AMA?
I think our key message is coinciding directly with our first question, so why don't we get started?
All right. So first off, how is the closed alpha network going? They say, we've had zero feedback about it since it started. Are there major blocking points? Mary, do you want to take this?
Yeah, definitely. So we actually wrote quite a bit about this in the recent status update last week on our blog. And I think we'll push that link out here. But I'm going to relate my comments right now really to the 5 requirements to ship holoports. We originally shared these back a month or two ago, and these essentially get us to the very beginning of an open alpha where thousands of users are testing Holo. And so I'm going to comment on the requirement and then sort of give a update related to that requirement. So the first one's networking must support at least 5,000 nodes that can communicate with each other and with working apps. So we shared quite a bit in the last update about networking. In particular, we've been working through what we've called an N3H networking solution in the past months. And that was really a prototype that we've been building up over the time that we first moved into Rust for Holochain. And we've recently now just shifted into our long-term solution of lib3h. And sort of the reason for that is lib3h is the scalable version, whereas the other one was easier to get started and get feature testing done that we needed to do. Now we're really focused on steady scaling of our nodes. So our plan for this point is to scale and test up to 10 nodes in the next couple of sprints, and then proceed upwards to 50 nodes, 100 nodes, 500 nodes, moving us all the way through those waves of closed alpha that we shared with you guys in the update. So that's the first one, networking. And networking, I will say, is one of the biggest challenges that Holo development is working on. This is Holochain networking, so we're talking about the combination of both networking at the level of distributed apps and then networking at the level of combining that into, through the internet. So that's part of the complexity there. The next requirement is about identity functions, and they must ensure secure and unified identities for users across the Holo network. So if you've been reading in different posts, whether it's been in the Dev Pulse or whether it's been in different types of communications that we've made, there's a couple of different apps related to that, and key management and deep key are really the two that we're dealing with. We're in great shape actually with this requirement. And we shared last week one update, which is that we can now automate the creation, the validation, and registration of an agent on a device using key management holochain app. So that's our deep key identity functions. And what that allows us to do is, as we're building out the bridged applications that are necessary for Holo to work, it ensures that the identity of a user on one app is really connecting and is the same identity of that user on the other app, and allows for us to have solid and reliable bridging. The third requirement that we shared is that Holoport users must be able to plug in and register on the Holo network to start providing hosting. So this is actually something that is relatively well established already, where this is working in test environments. We've made fantastic progress in reliability and user experience. We've put a lot more work into our NixOS on the Holoports, and I think we even specifically wrote some about Holoport Nanos that we've made some strides in that one as well to make sure that we're dealing with all of the different hardware. What we now need there is just scaled testing as we expand our networking. The fourth requirement is a user interface must be able to connect to a Holoport from another device and manage their hosting options. So our early user experience prototypes or user interface prototypes were mostly for independent apps. I think did some videos where we showed people how HoloFuel worked, or how hosting, some early screens on Holo hosting app. But really, Holo hosting, HoloFuel, service logs, all need to work together. And so now we have a unified app design that's called HP Admin, where we can give visibility to all of the settings and management of the Holoport. And we're pulling basically the underlying functionality from those apps into that view. And our happy team, which is, I think that's my favorite development team name, is moving full steam ahead on completing work for this. And really, they're sort of already working on our wave 2 and wave 3 requirements for closed alpha. So that's moving along really well. The fifth requirement that we shared was basic versions of the HoloFuel app and a chat app must be available to be hosted on the Holoport. So we've had several different prototypes built for chat apps, working on different versions of Holochain. I mean, even all the way back to the Holochain Go releases, but we've also done that with Holochain Rust. So we've now aligned on the one that's going to be included in our release, and we're going to keep working on that one. And we're also making progress on the HoloFuel side, things like paying invoices with HoloFuel from the service log apps. There's
Sure. I think we have to pause.